fortitude remains.
That's the name of the Demopan player in this screenshot. At the time, this was considered to be an affront to TF2's art style, and a massive departure from how the game used to look. Nowadays, the Demopan is undeniably tame in comparison to some of these other creatures you see roaming around. I bring up TF2 fashion because today, we're gonna carry on the legacy of the legendary Demopan. First things first though, we gotta look like him. 4 items are required to have a truly authentic Demopan experience. You need to equip the Charge and Targe and the Frying Pan in your weapon slots. For cosmetics, you need only the Bounty Hat and these shades. Now this here is special because it was only obtainable by playing a game that was delisted on GabeNewell.com a long time ago, rendering it nearly impossible to obtain on your own. That is, until Poker Night at the Inventory was re-released 9 years later and granted us the reissued Dangeresque 2. The fun thing is you can have both if you own both copies of Poker Night 1, allowing us old heads to have Dangeresque 2! You can paint one and keep the other vanilla. But most importantly, it ensures the proliferation of the Demopan in the TF2 ecosystem. So, now you've assembled all pieces of the puzzle. Congratulations! You've officially become him. Now, it's time to start killing!
But wait!
You may ask.
What's my primary for the Demopan gonna be?
Look, every option offers something, but ultimately I feel like the loose cannon is the most conducive towards the Demopan playstyle. This is a weapon I've talked about at length on more than one occasion, so I'll keep this part to the relevant bits only. You don't have a sticky launcher, so it has reliable explosive jumping covered in its absence. Stalk and the Iron Bomber comparatively are slower and clumsy in the jump department, but make up for it in raw kill power. This trade-off is not worth it.
In my humble opinion.
Instead, you're gonna learn the synergies it provides with its unique blend of cheese. So the loose cannon is your biggest burst movement tool, letting you blast off at very high speeds. It'll chunk you for a decent amount, but you can negate this by jumping somewhere with a medium or large health kit. Overheal from a medic will also allow you to jump with relative impunity, letting you access positions faster than almost any other class. The loose cannon jump puts you at speeds fast enough to enable ramp sliding if done at a good horizontal angle. This grants extra distance in situations it wasn't possible before and creates really funky mix-ups. In combat scenarios, the loose cannon's knockback properties let it reliably set up a juggle on an opponent, making it easy to abuse for combos and kill confirms. The 50 damage direct hit cannonballs are normally a downside, but now it means you can expend extra ammo to style on a poor fool. If you double donk an enemy instead, it should set you up for a 1-2 combo to down anything not above 175 health. Defensively, the knockback can get you out of situations you may not otherwise survive with another weapon. An enemy Demoman's charge might plow through any other primary direct hit, but the cannon will cancel it entirely with a good body blow. Explosive jumpers attempting to bomb you can get stuffed by a cannonball, letting you possibly derail the path of a Trollger or a fellow Demo flying about. Actually, let's focus on Trollgers for 1 second. Those man-treads? They're a double-edged sword. They make soldiers tougher to blow away if they're trying to strike you, requiring extra careful aim. On the other hand, that's an upside for those who like to combo their stuns. Just be careful because popping them up counts as an explosive jump and you can have that backfire on you. Other enemies like a sniper or a heavy can be forcibly repositioned, ruining an attack. In fact, the loose cannon is the only thing that isn't an air blast that can launch a heavy skyward. Against a retreating enemy, you can headshot them with a cannonball and cause them to stop briefly, allowing you to catch up. Shooting someone at point blank can usually cause self-harm, but the cannonball will either pass through a killed enemy or bounce off before exploding. In that short time, you can either get out of harm's way or grenade jump off the ball, provided you have the health for it. It does require taking note of how much ammo is left in it, as you don't want to be caught with your pants down. Having only 4 shots to work with at a time isn't ideal for crowds either, incentivizing seeking out 1v1s against more isolated targets. Even considering the downsides, the loose cannon is still the best. No bias. It can really do it all, and effectively replace the sticky bomb launcher you can't equip. All because of that little wooden shield. The Charge and Targe might just be the most important item in the Demopan's arsenal. compared to the other choices, it's the most deserving of the shield moniker, as it grants you the strongest resistances compared to the screen and the wheel. This can allow for dynamic fights against Pyro and the Exploders. The former can't take you down easily, as the effectiveness of fire is halved as a whole. WM1 takes forever and Puff and Sting won't drop you so easily. You even have the option of removing Afterburn entirely with the press of a button. Just don't get air blasted into a situation you can't escape from. The Boom Boys hurt you more comparatively, but they provide great utility for a healthy and clever Demopan. Jumping off their blast can allow you to make a clean getaway if you find yourself in a losing situation, and they won't be likely to chase you down. Conversely, you can punish them for even trying to shoot you if your jump ends up closing the gap. If they keep blasting you while you're in their face, it's not unlikely that they'll blow themselves up instead. Combine these resistances with a Vaccinator and you become one of the beefiest walls in the game. But that's only the passive half of what the charge can do. We all know how the basic charge works. You move real fast in a straight line with 3 levels of meter that affects how much damage your melee swing does. Without the booties, you can't turn all that well during a charge, making it a commitment once you use it. Finding the right situation in which to make your mad dash can be tricky, because all it takes is one bad call to end up as compost. It helps against unaware, otherwise isolated enemies that can't see you coming, so it's a pretty neat ambush tool once someone's the right distance away. That's where the loose cannon can come in handy too. You can pretty reliably knock an enemy away with the ball, then chase him down with the charge. The distance between you and the enemy might be enough to grant you a crit or a mini crit by the time you reach them. When in maps with deep water sections, the charge becomes yet another fun tool for jetting around like a torpedo. Turning from left to right is gimped, but you still have more control when looking up and down. This means you can dive straight down at crazy speeds, or even jump out of the water like a shark. Pyro has that moniker taken and well established, so I call these demo dolphin dives. The coolest thing about this tech is that you can breach the surface at such a fast pace that you can reach higher points of elevation. Really good examples of this are getting out of the 2-Fort waters.
How did you get up there?
And this raised platform on Aquarius. You can charge against a wall at an angle in order to keep going without stopping, which can change small factors like speed and timing. With this knowledge in mind, you can perform crazy charge reads or land some insane predictions. Most people will be fishing for that 195 damage, but if the opportunity presents itself, don't underestimate the power of 88. After all, that's almost as much damage as a direct hit pill. Defensively, hitting right click is great too. If not running towards your enemies, then running away from them is also quite effective. This example is way less likely, but the charge can also save you from certain doom if you're knocked off the stage, Smash style. Let's go back to 2-Fort for this one. The sewer walls are cylindrical in shape and very narrow, but that makes for ideal conditions for this. For those familiar with the Tide Turning Point USA, the speed gained here relies on similar principles to trimping. So, with this in mind, can we take this tech outside of 2-Fort into a different setting? Yes! There may not be many sewers to surf in, but any ramped surface with a raised wall beside it has all the same ingredients you need to fly. By facing the ramp at an angle, then jumping and charging, you just might be able to reach places that you would have otherwise had to bomb jump to, like this middle area in Swiftwater, or even taking the stairs from Hightower to the sniper balconies. I will mention that I find it inconsistent to pull off successfully, because the prospect of waiting 12 seconds to try again is unappealing. And that's a big problem with the Targe compared to the screen or the wheel. 12 seconds is a very long time in a TF2 game. Most fights take way less than that, meaning being caught without it puts you at a movement disadvantage because Demoman is slow. Unless you use the booties, but still. Being this slow means you can butt rush someone with the pan, but they may outpace you regardless. Utilizing a charge for the sole purpose of microspacing and closing a small gap would be a solution to this, but it also requires having a charge in the first place. An advanced, yet not often discussed special technique that the shields can perform is the extended melee range, where you swing before you charge. This technique, while niche, can net you surprise hits where you originally couldn't, even with a sword. Since you keep moving around while it's performed, you can chase down retreating enemies and secure your kill. This in particular is great against enemies like sticky demos. It's not the most glamorous shield, but it will certainly get the job done. It exists to provide crucial resistances, immense speed, and that familiar 195 damage clang. Now we arrive at the frying pan. By all accounts, this is the most basic part of your entire kit, but it serves as a blank canvas for skill expression. Remember, your primary and your shield are there in service of the frying pan, so don't be afraid to use everything you've got. Beyond your weapons, this part is about you, the player, and how you like to play. Maybe you like to get tactical, like letting yourself be chased, turning a corner, and then ambushing your attacker. Perhaps you're a reckless thrill seeker who only goes for the coolest frags. You can do it all. So here's a topic. Crits! We all love random ones. But are they truly random? Don't even think about it like that! The more damage you dish out with everything in your arsenal, the more you'll crit with your pan. Build up insane bloodlust, and use it to pull off risky plays that would require the extra damage. You have so much power in your hands, and it only gets stronger with every strike. And then you die, and then you have to build it all back up again. All it takes is one good Randy to get you started though, so never lose hope in your frying pan. This is, of course, assuming you're a cool dude who plays on servers with random crits. If not, what are you doing? Like, for real. We all know deep down that the frying pans have a naturally high crit rate, and to gimp that by playing without them means you remove the psychological warfare aspect of combat. The frying pan is an extension of the self, and random crits are a form of expression it knows best. I'm a fucking crazy lunatic, and I'm not afraid of rushing you down against all odds because I just know that I'll come out on top in the end. That's the mindset of a real pan user. You put your entire life on the line for the lucky swing, and come out as the blood-stained champion of the moment, or die trying. With all that in mind, there's one last aspect to playing Demopan I should bring up, though this applies to all classes. Even in the heat of combat, you've got to employ your wits in any given situation and try to play with the mind of your enemy. Perhaps you gotta put on the charm and turn a hostile situation into a friendly one. Even with just one voice line alone, you can sway the heart of even the most hardened killers. Keep that Hoovy alive and he might heal you. Stuff like that. But you can also use your mind powers for evil too. The battle between game and gamer is a truly powerful one indeed, and you can fight on the side of the game. Little things like taunting after kills or dominating someone can irritate them, sure, that's easy though. If you want to leave a lasting impression, you gotta pull off something they've never seen before. Something that can make them question what they really know. The mind is the fourth weapon slot, and it is the actual most important part about playing Demopan. Combine every single one of these factors and you've got yourself a cunning trickster warrior who can and will do anything to get the upper hand. Hang on, isn't there a whole separate aspect of the Demopan? Oh yeah, we gotta talk about trading! Right off the bat, let's talk about the phrase, stout shako for too refined. Historically, the shako has been valued below 2 ref, but we don't give a shit about spreadsheets or what Backpack says. Trading isn't only about numbers and bots, but also a nearly forgotten art about charming people into buying your shit. You are the Demopan now. You gotta go into a server and make your presence known. You will only trade stout shakos for too refined. Real will recognize real and pay the real price. Take it from me. I love the Stout Shako as a hat. It's large, has a massive paint region, old school as hell, simple yet charming, and to this day, a highly underrated pick. It can also be unboxed as an unusual, and while themed unusuals aren't as widely discussed nowadays, one effect stands out to make the best Demopan themed Shako.
Yes,
The Nuts and Bolts Stout Shako. Cheap hat, cheaper effect, somehow the perfect combination. I've got a storied history with rags to riches topics on TF2, but if anything has remained consistent, it's that this specific hat is my dream unusual. Even if nowadays I have comparatively higher value hats, they simply don't mean the same thing as this one. All looks can be refined, but only one hat is too refined. Not gonna lie to you, this is the sort of meme that qualifies you for a veteran's discount. And for some reason or another, I've made it an in-game lifestyle choice. This is just the culmination of over a decade of autistic LARPing, and I have no plans on stopping. The Demopan, whether an in-game avatar of combat or a traveling hat merchant, has remained an icon with an enduring legacy. For a long time, the absence of the OG Poker Night game made becoming the Demopan a difficult or expensive prospect, but that re-release has truly reopened the floodgates for everyone. Are you ready for the new generation of Demopans running about? I sure as hell am. I'm more than happy to announce that this video is sponsored by the Hat of Undeniable Wealth and Respect. It's a hat, virtual pet, and cryptocurrency all in one ugly package. Watch it fall asleep and wake up over and over again. It's endless entertainment for those who like money! Order now, and we'll throw in 2 styles to make you look significantly poorer. Deny your wealth with the Hat of Undeniable Wealth and Respect. It's rare, incredibly rare, rarer than a So what are you waiting for? Spend your hard-earned rent money on the Hat of Undeniable Wealth and Respect today. Ask your parents' permission first before buying, selling, eating, or otherwise modifying the Hat of Undeniable Wealth and Respect. Side effects may include lighting pockets, an obsession with stonks, LSD-like symptoms, nausea, diarrhea, impersonation, death, or even life. Hat and Undeniable Wealth and Respect sold separately.